Hi, Gemini. Hi, I'm Lateesha Bynum Hinton, astrologer and numerologist. And this video is for Gemini Sun, Moon, and Rising for the weekly horoscope of July 29th through August the 4th. Okay, so we are starting the week out with some of the challenging energies that we had last week, and that is between the Sun in Leo, Uranus in Taurus, and Mars in Aquarius. And Gemini, for you, this is affecting you in your third house of communication, your ninth house of higher communication, and it is affecting you also in your 12th house, okay, of your subconscious. Okay, so what is happening for you is that the universe is asking you to take a look at how you are communicating. Mercury is there also in your house of communication in a retrograde status. So the universe is asking you to take a look at how you are communicating with your siblings, with your neighbors, people who are close around you, cousins, the friends who feel like sisters and brothers to you, and the communication between perhaps your professors and those in religious settings, higher education, legal issues. So there is a challenge with Mars being in Aquarius in your ninth house. There is a challenge between how you feel, how you think subconsciously. There is a change that Uranus is trying to bring in. There is a frustration here in communication with these particular people around you. Organizations like the schools, the legal organizations that you are dealing with. If you're trying to get immigration approved, there's a challenge happening in your subconscious mind about how you feel you are being treated. Perhaps a level of anger. There's an opposition between the Sun and Mars, so perhaps you feel a level of anger in your frustration about how these organizations are dealing with you, in legal matters and academia. So that is something that is coming in here. But what the universe is asking you to do is to decide what is your best course of action in communication. Is it best for you to exhibit anger and frustration? Or would you gather more bees with honey than with salt? Okay. And to ask yourself, in your subconscious mind, Uranus is there to shift the way that you communicate and see others, see the way that you think about the collective and other people. And perhaps they're not mistreating you, because with Mars in opposition to the Sun, you could feel that you are being mistreated and you're blaming them, and why are they taking me through all this hassle and so forth and so on. And maybe it is just about going back and just taking the time to fill out the paperwork right, or taking the time to look at what is it that I could have done better. Okay, so that's something that is coming in here at the beginning of the week, and it was here last week as well. So then on Monday, July the 30th, we have Jupiter in a trine aspect with Neptune, and a trine aspect is a really good aspect. Okay, so with Jupiter in Scorpio is in your sixth house of daily work and activity and health. This is really good. You have Jupiter here with Neptune in Pisces, and that is in your 10th house of your reputation in the world and the career. that you are in. So you have a good aspect there. So your daily work and the people you work with, they may just be blessing you. They may be being really nice to you and really good to you and causing you to have peace and harmony. Okay? And so that is always wonderful. Your health could be really good. You could have had a turnaround. Hear that there's a turnaround in a health issue that you had and things are now looking better. So with Jupiter here blessing you in this area, that makes your daily activities much easier, okay? And people want to bless you and be good to you in this area, all right? So on the same day, Monday, July the 30th, we have the moon in conjunction with the sun, okay? So we have the moon in Pisces, and that is here in your ninth house. I'm sorry, the moon in Pisces is in your 10th house of reputation, and then the sun is in Leo. And Leo, for you, is in your 3rd house of communication. So with the moon in conjunct the sun, there is a miscommunication in how you feel and how you are speaking and interacting with the world. And then you are asking yourself, is the world seeing you the way that you want them to see you? Okay? And that is based on how you are communicating. And you're asking yourself, there is a misunderstanding between how you are communicating to others. That goes back to what we were just talking about earlier. How you are communicating with others and how they are receiving what you are saying. And so there is a question there. You're questioning yourself. Mercury being retrograde does not help the matter, at this time. But Mercury will be in retrograde until August the 18th, and then he will move forward. So until then, we have to be real careful about how we are communicating and making sure that we are getting our point over, making sure we're asking questions to people and say, okay, I heard you say X, Y, Z. Did I hear you correctly? We have to take our time. And then with the in conjunction here, there may be an issue with your mother. You may feel that your mother does not understand you. Your mother doesn't understand the way that you are communicating. Who she is in the world. She doesn't understand who you are. So that may be something that you're feeling there, okay? Then on Tuesday, July the 31st, we have Saturn in Capricorn and in a trine to Uranus. So for you, Capricorn is in your 8th house, and Uranus in Taurus is in your 12th house. So with Uranus and Saturn here, this gives you some inspiration, a connection with the divine. Uranus is all about quick change in your subconscious, spiritual thoughts, spirituality. So how the way you have thought about spiritual things is undergoing a change now because Uranus is in that area for you. And then with the trine in Saturn, Saturn grounds, brings manifestation in, and it's in your 8th house of hidden things. So some things could come to the light for you that bring about a change in how you see spirituality, how you see yourself spiritually, and the connection that you have to the divine. On the same day, Tuesday, Venus is in opposition to the moon. Venus is in the sign of Virgo, and that is in your 4th house of home. And she's opposite the moon, which is in Neptune. So for you, this shows up with the feminine energies, the moon and Venus opposing each other. So the question comes up, do I feel safe? Do I feel loved? Do I feel loved at home, internally, in my internal self? Do I feel love about the people that I live with? Is my mother, is there an opposition or some angst between you and your mother? This is something that could come up where You are opposing each other in the home, and then in how you see yourself in the world, or how she sees herself in the world, how she moves in the world, how you move in the world. There is some resistance here, possibly, that you could feel. Then on Wednesday, August the 1st, we have Mercury. Again, another in conjunction coming in with Pluto. So Mercury is the planet of communication. Again, he is in a retrograde status in the sign of Leo in your third house, in conjunction with Pluto in your ninth house. So for you, this could be issues of communication with professors, people who have to do with some legal issues that you may want the courts, that you may need to have resolved. There could be some misunderstanding there. And again, so Mercury is already retrograde, and then with the in conjunction here, in conjunctions bring a misunderstanding between planets where they just don't get each other. So for you, this could be coming in with those who are in authority there in legal matters, these types of institutions, legal matters, academia, if you're trying to get your master's or PhD, or even your bachelor's degree, okay, this could come in. All right, so with that, you want to take your time in communication. You want to spell it all out. If you have to talk to somebody who is in authority in one of these areas, I would suggest doing that before Wednesday, August 1st, okay? Then we have on August the 2nd, Thursday, August the 2nd, we have the moon in conjunction with Jupiter, okay? Again, the in conjunction is where the two planets misunderstand each other. The moon being in Aries is in your 11th house of groups that you associate with. And then we have Jupiter in Scorpio in your daily work activities, your routines, your health. So there is a miscommunication where you're not feeling necessarily safe, comfortable, understood, okay, with the groups that you are in. Jupiter and the moon in conjunction could cause you to overestimate what it is that you feel the group should do for you at work, or what they should bring to you, or how they should give to you. You may overestimate what they should do, you know, and perhaps they feel, no, that's not our responsibility. So something like this could come in with where you work or your daily activity, the people you work with. So this is August the 2nd, Thursday, August the 2nd. And then moving on to August the 3rd, which is Friday, we have Venus in conjunct the moon. Venus is in Virgo.